I'm Daisy Nell, and I'm going to read a story I wrote called Winnie at the Wheel. Now, I have some company today. This is the real Winnie right here. Her name is Winnie the Pooh, and this is Moxie. So I guess they're going to stay here for the story as well. This book is dedicated to the late, great Joe Garland, a wonderful friend of Gloucester and our local history, and the illustrations are done by George Ulrich. Winnie at the Wheel. It takes place in Gloucester at the Gloucester Schooner Festival. You can see from the cover that there's a drawing there of the famous statue of the man at the wheel. So, Winnie at the Wheel. Winnie woke up from her nap, wondering what was going on. As she made her way through the crowd along the Gloucester Boulevard, she could only see ankles and shoes. Winnie is a short dog with raggedy hair that hangs like a mop over her eyes. As she wandered close to a tall block of stone near the water, she heard a loud, scratchy voice coming from way up above her head. "Welcome to the Gloucester Schooner Festival Parade. Just look out there in the harbor. Our history comes alive today, right here in good old Gloucester. Let the celebration begin." A spray of water cascaded from the police boat's big hoses, signaling the start of the schooner parade. A cannon was fired from the fort on the hill, and the schooners started sailing toward the boulevard. The schooner Thomas E. Lannon led the parade of 20 schooners. Some of the boats were 100 years old. Some were new, and nearly half of them had been built in the nearby town of Essex. Their sails were all set, ready for the parade. As each schooner sailed by, the crowd all cheered, "Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!" 3 times. Everyone was so enthusiastic. By the 3rd cheer, Winnie joined in, yelping, "Yip, yip, howl!" Near the shore were dozens of brightly colored rowboats, plus kayaks and paddleboards. Winnie looked down at the water and saw a girl on a paddleboard with a cat standing on the back. The cat was balancing on all 4 paws. The paddleboard looked pretty tippy. The cat looked very nervous. The wind was blowing harder now. The flapping flags along the boulevard added to the sense of excitement as each schooner passed by. Winnie stared upward, trying to see above the large stone toward the voice that she had heard. She saw a gigantic statue of a man wearing a hat and a raincoat. The boots on the statue were enormous, especially compared to all the sandals and sneakers she'd been staring at on the ground. Winnie trotted near the edge of the wall above the shore. She heard that gravelly voice again. "Ah, there's Gloucester's own schooner Adventure, 90 years old, built in Essex, making us proud today. Just look at her now. Ah, yes, she has a bone in her teeth." That's what the old captains used to say when the schooner was going fast and a bubbly wave of white water formed under the bow. It looked like the schooner had a bone in her teeth. Winnie imagined having a bone in her teeth. The thought made her drool. "But I can't imagine being at the wheel of a big schooner," she thought, remembering how scary even a small paddleboard looked. Winnie tilted her head from side to side, trying to understand. Was the statue talking? Impossible. She stepped back and saw a big white seagull standing on top of the hat on the statue. "I am the man at the wheel. I'm here to honor the fishermen of Gloucester. For hundreds of years they have gone to the sea in every kind of weather. I'm wearing my oilskins. That's what we call my heavy raincoat and hat. See this hat? It's long in the back to keep the rain from going down my neck." "Wait a minute," said Winnie, as she shook her straggly hair from her eyes. "That's not the statue talking. It's the seagull." "Are you trying to fool me?" She barked up to the top of the statue's hat. She backed up another step to get another look. Uh-oh, it was too late. Winnie fell right off the edge into the shallow water beneath the boulevard's wall. "Wah!" She yelped, "Kerplunk!" She splashed into the water and then tried her best to do the doggy paddle back to shore. But with all of the boats going by, there were waves splashing right over her head. Winnie was a little afraid. Suddenly, there was a prickly feeling on her back. A dark shadow fell over her. She heard that squawky voice that she'd heard at the statue. It was the seagull. "Help!" cried Winnie, catching her breath. "Don't worry, I've got you," he said. "Who are you?" Winnie whined, trying not to swallow any water. "Call me Joe." "Well, Joe," chattered Winnie, "you've helped me stay afloat. Thanks. My name is Winnie. I think I need some more practice swimming." "How about some practice flying, Winnie?" said Joe. It was such a sight that for a minute Winnie forgot that she was a dog and flying with a seagull. Joe, this chatty seagull, was carrying her in his claws. Was this really happening? "I thought you were trying to trick me by pretending to be the man at the wheel statue," whispered Winnie. She was frightened and wet and trying not to shake. She wasn't sure about any of this. No, I'm not trying to trick you," said Joe. "I was trying to get your attention. You're a young dog and can learn something important about our history here. Look down there. Do you see how spectacular these schooners are? You're a lucky dog. Now you have a bird's eye view." Joe tried a little laugh, but it sounded like a cat coughing up a hairball. As they flew toward the front of the parade, big gray clouds blew in, and with them came a downpour of rain. Joe flew Winnie toward the schooner Thomas E. Lannon. Captain Heath Ellis was turning his schooner away from the shore, leading the way for the other schooners. He looked up with his crew, and they were shocked to see a scruffy little dog flying toward them. They couldn't see Joe, holding Winnie's back. The passengers were all pointing and taking pictures. Beautiful schooners in the water, and in the sky a flying dog. What a day for photographs. Joe suddenly turned. "Oh no, look, we have to help that girl." The girl on the paddleboard with her cat was drifting away from the shore. She had dropped her paddle and it was floating away from her. The current was making it too hard to paddle to the shore with her hands. With a sudden downward dive, Joe swept toward the wheel of the schooner Thomas Lannon. He dropped Winnie behind the wheel and flew off into the sky. Captain Heath Ellis seemed shocked. "What's going on? What's this pup doing on my deck?" He looked down at the dripping dog. Well, said Captain Ellis. "I don't quite know how you got here, but let's see who you are." He turned over Winnie's tags and read her name out loud. Winnie. But Winnie stood right up, leaning on the spokes of the wheel with her paws. She barked and barked, stretching out one paw toward the girl and her cat on the paddleboard. They looked afraid and cold. Winnie barked loudly again. She held onto the wheel while Captain Ellis and his crew threw a life ring and towed the paddleboard alongside. The girl seemed so relieved to be safe, but the cat looked miserable. The Lannon's crew took them down below to dry off. "You're quite a hero, Winnie," said the captain. The crew all cheered. "Hooray for Winnie!" Winnie wailed, "Yip, yip, howl!" Captain Ellis went below and came back on deck with a fresh soup bone for Winnie. He gave a hearty laugh and went back to the wheel, steering the Lannon to the end of the parade. "It's a good day for schooners," he said, "and a great day for cats and dogs, too." Winnie took her new prize and lay at the captain's feet. Even though it was still raining, she felt warm and right at home on this schooner. She noticed that Captain Ellis was wearing boots and oilskins, just like the statue. Winnie looked up as the schooner sailed out towards the sea. The wind was blowing and the sails were full. Winnie could hear the cry of the seagulls. One in particular sounded very familiar. Flying right alongside with the schooner Lannon was Joe. "Ah, yes," he said. "She's got a bone in her teeth." The end.